Hello, we are in the office evaluating the puppies from our Alice in Wonderland litter. They turned 6 weeks old yesterday, and it's time to start their evaluations, see how they're doing, trying to decide who goes where.
Watch your stands.
Oh, she is on top of that little black thing. Nice. Confident.
Come here, sweet girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, go there.
Rich is back. Okay, here, let me
I yelled
flip it
at
on.
him and I said, hurry the fuck up.
Right?
Good girl, confident thing.
Here's Limpy Sarah. Hi, Holly. Holly's here.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly. I just sent you an invite, Holly. This is Pink Girl. Pink Girl is one of our Alice in Wonderland puppies. They're 6 weeks old.
Well, in this camera view, she kind of looks like she's got pink hues to her.
Right? She might. We might. Maybe that's how we tell them apart, is we could just color code them by dyeing the whole dog. I'm kidding. We don't do that.
I was going to say, Vicky, do you know who you're talking to?
So Tara's in here with me. What we have is in the office, and look at this. Somebody made this for me who's pretty awesome.
Oh, man, who made that? That's a magnificent piece of work up there.
Right. So we have a piano prodigy.
Yes, we do.
Hi, Rich. We're doing Facebook Live.
Does your phone have like dog puzzle?
Alexa, turn off the timer.
Is in Suburban.
Okay.
Yeah, she does that all the time.
We do that.
So we have.
Are these little bubble babies on the balance ball yet?
We have a Fit Paws in their pen. Here we have this because the Fit Paws is in their pen. We have wobbles, but we don't have a wobble out. So this is what we have: we have the upside down feed bowl. We have the cat chaser toy. We have a clicker. We have a scent bag right there.
Yeah, I will do it.
We're putting paws up. Look at that. A
Good
food toy.
job.
Over there is a little stuffy. Here is a little stuffy. There's a purple thing I got from Temu. We have the place. We have those black things, and she was just on the bottom of one with wheels, which is pretty awesome. We have the stairs. We have the chum bucket, the piano, a potty tray so far. No accidents.
Yes.
Nice.
Good down.
So how are they with, this is what we're looking at. I've got our whole checklist here. And we write their names along the side. So this is Pink female. How are they with the food lore? How would you say this puppy is with the food
She's
lore?
amazing. She has foods.
A check or check plus?
Check plus.
What about last one? Check or check plus?
He was a check.
I just did the check too.
Yeah.
Teaser toy, has she played with that yet?
Yeah, she picked it up and walked it up. She did pick it up.
Okay, so she did mouth carry.
Angus, up.
Stuffy toy.
Stuffy toy? No, she grabbed this though, and she's touched the nosy nose like twice.
Okay, so we'll do scent. Target.
Nah, 2 fingers.
Okay.
We haven't done targets.
That's
Six,
okay.
so.
People. Yeah, I think she's very people-y.
You think she's people?
I think she is.
She's like,
Stairs, but I'm not going to count that because I put her on them. Clack,
Yeah.
clack, we don't have out.
no,
Fit
it's
bone.
piano she loves.
She did do the paws up. Capture behavior, clicker, and stuffy toy.
Yeah, stuffy toy. She played with this.
Okay, we'll do the other one though.
Watch.
So, how many? Because this is the new checklist that on the board we went over, right? Like,
You sound great.
do what?
I said you sound great.
Yeah, I got an ear infection. I've got a virtual appointment at 4:30 today. All the sinuses and buildup, and not having an immune system, that helps.
Yeah. Yes. Good girl.
So, how do you guys decide on if they're going to be check plus? Is it a collective effort? Is it one person's opinion? Because I could see someone arguing, oh, well, this was Vicky's opinion, and maybe I don't want just Vicky's opinion.
Usually it's Tara and I. If Emily's here, we'll ask, for her input on it too. The three of us have done them before. Rich usually doesn't. He might run puppies for us. But it's, do they like it or do they just do it?
She's exploring.
Yeah.
Do they do it well?
Enthusiastic consent.
Yes. Yep, and this is just a supplement to the Volhard testing that we're going to do starting on Friday, I believe, is when we have it scheduled. Look at her over there. Look at that.
Tara, keep calling and look at Angus.
Yeah. And he's like looking. He's like, I know that.
Right here, come here. Yeah, wait, hold on. She had to go potty.
Okay, potty training. How awesome is this? She's 6 weeks old yesterday. So 6 weeks and 1 day old, and she got to the potty,
Yes,
and then when she's done, she's like, "Look at me, I'm a badass
and I got
mofo."
some food and I did.
She's the HBIC. Have I told you what that means?
Mm-mm.
Oh, here you go.
Head bitch in charge.
Right?
She said, "Dear, I go for stairs." I said, "No, steer me. Dear, don't steer me." I'll go.
So I've been seeing a lot of questions, because my feed is predominantly service dogs and stuff like that on this page, and I think I'm gonna post a video about it. But for anyone that's on that maybe has a service dog or considering a service dog, one of my professors in college told us this because being a vet tech, we tend to go into highly female dominated areas, right? And what happens when you get into a mostly female dominated workplace? There's a lot of the hens chattering about stupid stuff, right? And
Always.
so I've been seeing a lot of stuff about service dogs lately about people asking, well, for people who have anxiety in public and things like that, how do you deal with the side glances and, the snide comments? And I'm like, well, that kind of depends on you as a person, but this is the advice I've been giving that, like I said, my college professor gave me, that she gave our entire class, was other people's opinions of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, who cares? Do they pay your bills? Do they supplement your life in any way? No? Then
Let
they
them
don't.
talk shit. Let you live the best life possible. I've been listening to Mel Robbins' book, and it's fantastic. Right? Because people are going to show you who they really are. Bitches are just going to bitch.
Yeah, exactly. There's always going to be people that are going to complain. Now, I'll say my answer will vary depending, okay, if it's a business owner. I feel like Vicky and Tara both know me pretty well, that if I go into a business and they're trying to tell me I can't bring my service dog in because they have an ignorant, outdated view of service dog laws, we're going to throw hands because I had plans, We're going to get through it. But just people that are in a store or at Disney or Universal, which I will say overall, places like that, Disney and Universal, I feel like the overall reception of service dogs there are a lot better just because it's seeing a dog in an unusual place. So what happens is, oh my God, there's a dog here. Holy crap, this is so amazing.
Look at their shoes.
Well, we were just at Universal last week. Tara and I each had a dog on Thursday over on the Universal Studios side, not Islands of Adventure, and we met up with a client who had her service dog. And what they told us was they went through the parking garage in the roundabout, Facebook Live, and they had a dog like barking and lunging at their dog, and somebody came up to them afterwards and said, I saw what happened there, and I just want to let you know that dog was removed from the park.
Yeah.
So,
Which is what should be happening because, I mean, that happened at Disney last year when I was visiting with, actually, I don't think you were there that day, but it was one of the days I was in Hollywood Studios. And there was a lady that was from a different country, one of the Spanish-speaking countries. I can't remember where she was from, but she said that TSA told her to tell everybody that her dogs were service dogs. She had 2 little Chihuahuas. And I was like, oh, honey, that's not right. And I don't know why TSA would tell you that if that's true, but in any sense. So these dogs are being absolutely ratchet in the park. They're barking at Angus, and he's like, well, then an employee came up to me and said, hey, did this happen? Somebody else who doesn't have a service dog reported that they saw these two Chihuahuas like terrorizing people with service dogs. And that day there actually happened to be a lot of service dogs in the park. Like I saw probably 4 or 5, which is kind of unusual on a not so busy day. Yeah. And I said, yeah, that happened. I was like, I was just kind of trying to ignore them. And she was like, do you know which way they went? And I said, well, they went over that way. And then she came back and found me and said we had them removed from the park. So
a few years ago, we did a workshop here. And then we did probably about a dozen or so people, maybe 15 people at Universal with service dogs. So it was a big, big, big group of us. And we were over there. and there was a fake service dog there. And how I know he was a fake service dog is because he kept barking and lunching. And as we'd meet up, because we didn't all stay together in one big group, right? We'd split up, we'd get back together with different people. It turns out this dog was barking and lunging and pulling and being a jerk to a lot of the people. So I went up to somebody who worked there and I said, I'm not, you can if you want to. I went up to one of the workers and I said, hey, there's this dog, and I described the dog, and I said, he is barking and lunging. I said, well, we're here with a group of this many service dogs, and he's been barking.
Right.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it. I said, yes, there is. And they're like, nope, nothing I can do about it. And I said, okay, fine. Here's how it's going to go down. Is if this dog attacks any of our dogs, we're suing Universal. I'm telling you that there's a dog here who's an issue, and you are now aware of it. You know, let your supervisors know, because I know you're a peon, but still.
Yeah. It is the businesses, and that I think that's where some businesses get confused, and that's where Angus and I, we like to use those opportunities for learning opportunities. I went into a restaurant once, and it was before Angus. I think it was when I had Garrett, and it was one of those it was a pizza and bar type thing. Well, he had an open area to the kitchen. So he didn't have like doors that block the kitchen, and he's like, you can't have your dog in here. I said, he's a service dog. He said, it doesn't matter. Health department says the dog can't be in here. And I said, health department does not supersede ADA, federal law.
Yeah.
I said, now, if I were trying to get in a public pool, yes. So we sat down and had a conversation. He was like, well, I see people come in here all the time with all sorts of animals, and they tell me it's a service animal, like talk about snakes and stuff. And I said, well, ADA only covers realistically dogs, but I think it also lists miniature horses, if I'm not mistaken.
And it's a miniature horse, not a pony or a small horse.
Right.
Right. A specific type of horse are about the
It's a
size of
Shetland.
Great Dane.
The Shetland.
Yeah, because I could tell you right now, if someone was trying to pass off a pony as a service animal, it would probably be a shit show for everyone, because ponies are assholes. But anyway. And so I sat down and I discussed with him, and he's like, well, would you mind sitting away from the kitchen? And I said, no, I don't mind at all. I said, but that's the conversation that we need to have. Like, you as a business owner, you need to discuss your concerns while still accommodating me for my needs to, to bring my patronage here. And at the end of it, he was fine. And I told him where he could look all this stuff up, questions he's allowed to ask and everything. And it ended up working out really well. But we run into situations like that all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm able to, because I do know that there are people with more extensive disabilities that what I have, and may not even be able to communicate properly, based off of whatever disability they have. So I try to advocate as much as I can, within the extent of my own issues. So
yeah, we went to one of the restaurants up here, and it's the Wolfgang Puck restaurant, and they seat us in our own room, and I'm like, yep, that works for me. Please seat me in my own room so I don't have to deal with people.
yeah.
But yeah, something.
That's the other thing is, and I try to explain this to people with service dogs and Vicky, you and I talk about this all the time, is just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Right? So realistically, if you're going somewhere and if you don't need your service dog, and you don't need your service dog before or after, and there could be an issue at that place, we'll just say a hospital. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. Service dogs are allowed in hospitals. They're not allowed in surgical suites or, say, like burn units where it's a highly sterile environment. But they are allowed in hospitals. But if you're taken by ambulance and you have someone at your house that could take care of your service dog while you're taken by ambulance, and there is a chance that hospital is going to create havoc for you, that may prevent you from getting treatment or put your service dog at risk, do you need to take your service dog?
And
rightfully, are you allowed to? Yes.
Right? If you're going in for a procedure and you're not going to be able to care for your service dog while you're in the hospital, you can't have your service dog there and expect the nurses and the aides to care for your service dog, or friends are going to come over and do it. That dog has to be under somebody's control. So what had happened with one of our puppy family, one of our dogs, right, was they were out, and she has POTS, and she ended up passing out, and the ambulance came and took her and her dog, because it was just the two of them out, took them to the emergency room. She was coming to by the time they got there. The husband was on his way over. The husband gets there. He takes control of the dog, and they tell him that he has to leave and take that dog out of there because the dog was out of control. And he's like, no, the dog's not out of control. And if I leave, I'm not going to be here to help her, and to answer your questions and to be able to fill out the paperwork and stuff. So they had argued about it. I think they ended up taking him out. Like, they're on the phone. I was in California at the APDT conference. He's on the phone with me, texting me. She's on the phone with Tara, texting Tara. We're trying to get this all figured out. They ended up contacting a lawyer and going to mediation. And apparently someone had been in like a week or so beforehand with an out of control dog. So they were just like, all service dogs are bad. Which isn't right. This is why if your dog is not a service dog, leave your dog at home. Like, the mall that we go to here will allow dogs in strollers or in pouches, or if you carry them, even if it's a pet dog. But here's the thing is the pet dogs haven't been trained to be in that environment. They don't know what the hell to do. They're overwhelmed and it's too much for them. But people they're selfish. I also see a lot, like, I want to bring my dog to Disney. And like, there's dog-friendly rooms. There are, but you know what? Your dog would be so much happier at home sleeping on your couch than he would be in a brand new place where you're gone for the whole day to let your dog bark in the room alone. It's not fair. People put themselves there ahead of the dog, and they shouldn't. One of the questions you had asked earlier was about anxiety out in public, and you do get a lot of questions. You do get a lot of stares. You do get a lot of snickers and whispers and questions and people wanting to pet your dog and people approaching you. So it might be that a service dog's not right for you. I do always recommend for people to talk to their medical care team. So that could be therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, family members. I also get people who contact me because they want one, but their parents don't want them to have a service dog, or their spouse doesn't want them to have a service dog. And they're expecting me to get on there and say, no, that one needs a service dog. I'm like, no, if you don't have your family support, it ain't going to work out at all.
Nope.
Okay, we got a new one back in here. Alexa, set a 5-minute timer. Which one's this, Tara? This is Packer. So you know why he's Packer? Because we ran out of single color collars, so he's green and gold.
Oh, God.
We also have, that was for Rich because he grew up in Wisconsin. We also have an Auburn who is orange and blue, but then we didn't have a secondary orange collar. Hey, Rich, Dad's here. He didn't have, so now she's blue and silver, but we call her, instead of Auburn anymore, her name is Rabbit.
Oh. This one's curious.
Right? This is the first time that we've been in this room with them. This is the first time, usually they have a couple litter mates with them. There's some food up on the place here, so I'm looking forward to seeing if one of them gets up on there. Because that's a big one. Look how tall that is. That's like as tall as the puppy is. Yeah.
So, Vicky, can you talk about, because this happens a lot too, especially puppies, whether they're companion or service prospects, how long do we let the puppy at the new home get adjusted before we, really start doing extensive training and expecting higher expectations out of them for, going into a new environment with new people? And
so Tara had a question about that. Are we talking an 8-week-old puppy, or are we talking to any dog?
we'll say 8 to 12 weeks. We'll say young.
I would say at least 2 weeks just to get a schedule down, right? So
Now that doesn't mean you let the puppy be a turd and run all over your house and not crate him. Like,
allow exploration, but it's also going to be a tethered exploration, right? So the puppy has
and strictly supervised. Like, I'm on the phone right here. If this was my puppy, I would not be on the phone. My phone would be put away, or I'd maybe have a tripod set up to record everything and just give my focus 120% to my dog.
Yeah.
Sorry, I needed lip gloss, and I'm using Emily in Paris from Bath and Body Works.
Oh, nice.
Smells good, and it feels good, and it's very slippy on.
but like yeah.
Paws up is good. That's nice.
Yeah, this one's got a lot of curiosity. This is a female or male? Male? Did you say this one's a male?
Yeah. Yep, he's a boy.
Yeah.
We're doing Sorkas first. We're doing the Alice in Wonderland litter first because they're 5 days older than the Nightmare Before Christmas litter. Nice.
Yeah, that could be really good for scent work. Is he going Do you know where he might be going yet?
No, I have to print up the list of who I'll need so we can start thinking. We have a couple of them in mind on where they might go.
Yes, good job.
But,
Rosie knows. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, Tara. But we haven't, made any definites yet.
Good job, buddy.
Because a lot of it is what it shows us. Now, here's the problem. This is our evaluation, and it'll take a few days to get everything done. So if you looked at the form, some of them don't have checks. Well, we don't have a wobble out yet because we can't do it all in one. So we'd rather take a few days to get all these evaluations done.
Yeah.
And to give the dog a few times to see it. It might be that, she's like, oh, I want to check everything out, or I'm tired, right? Like, what if they were just sleeping and we woke them up? We also, the kids are off school today. We have Tilly and Bella both in here. So we have a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old. Sarah's here, Connor's here, Tara's here, I'm here, Rich is here. So we've got a full, and Luke, of course, is here, but we've got a full house today. So it's a little bit different than normal. It's getting closer to dinner time, but we try not to keep to a too strict a schedule. So there we're doing food lore. If we can get them to food lore, we could do some play training with them, which we really enjoy doing because it's great and it's great fun for them.
Yeah.
Right there, we got to sit. He's a genius. And a down at 6 weeks old.
Good job,
Does that mean he knows it? No. So if whenever they bring the dogs home, one of the things that we get often is the dog doesn't know no at 8 weeks old when they pick up. Of course, the dog doesn't know no at 8 weeks old. If
Right.
they're naughty, right? So like we have their pen, we have a squirt bottle of water. So if they want to get into a little, if they're playing and it gets a little bit too intense and they don't understand that no means no, we squirt the instigator,
Yes, there.
right?
Good job, buddy.
So we'll do that. But we don't use no, like that comic, My Name is No, Bad Dog No.
Right. Yeah.
That could be what happens. We want the dogs to explore. You know what? If we're outside and he picks up a stone or a stick or something, I don't care. I love it. He's picking up the string here. We're not going to say, no, give that back to me. We're going to click and we're going to reward that because we want to capture that creativity and encourage more of it.
Yes.
One of the things that would happen quite often whenever we were doing, I've been a professional dog trainer for over 20 years now, and we would have people who bring their dogs to us, especially a lot of it's been service dog work over the years. My dog's 6 months, my dog's a year, my dog's 2 years old, and I want my dog to retrieve, but the dog won't let you put, nope, I won't put that in my mouth because I was taught from a young age that things in my mouth are bad.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's hard. So people will say, like, well, do you allow the dogs to jump up? Well, it depends. Are they jumping up just to be a jerk? Or are they jumping up like this, paws up? What if you need the dog to do a paws up on your lap? Well, then the dog has to be comfortable doing, that paws up. We want to encourage that stuff, but we don't want it, I don't want the dog to bark like an idiot in the crate. I don't like a lot of barking. I don't like a lot of pawing. Now, we do have a dog who wanted to give us his hand and shake. Bert did that when he met up at Universal with Shaggy, Scooby, and Velma. He was like, goodbye, and he shook their hands. Like, how cute was that? That he did Scooby, he did Shaggy, and Velma's like, well, I want him to shake my hand goodbye, too.
You know what cracks me up with the shake is everywhere I go with Angus, if we go on a break, and that's like the first thing people want to ask him, oh, do you shake? And I'm like, no, he doesn't know shake. And they're like, he's a service dog and he doesn't know shake. And I'm like, well, think about it. I don't have a purpose for him to know that.
Yeah.
So that's something where Delta, who was the warrior dog from the Moana litter, she was very pawing. Well, we, in return, turned her paw into, hey, can I have a high five? And now she's a high five. So it's her trick. When she's bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not, we don't want to keep it like that, but we'll say, hey, can I have a high five? And it gets her satisfaction of giving the paw, but it's in a high five. Not
Instead of just immediately telling her no, which maybe in the future she does need that, the trainer or the handler ends up needing them to do something with that, then you can redirect it because they don't feel uncomfortable using it.
Right. That and Moana litter's a Bert litter. Bert, I thought it was because Luke, he was Luke's dog until he was about 4 months old, and I stole him to be my service dog. I thought Luke had taught him shake. No, Luke just was capturing it because Bert did it anyway, right? So Bert likes, he's paw focused. I don't
Yeah.
like paw as an alert. I don't want the dog raking his nails down my leg.
Right.
But all of his puppies are also paw focused. Something that I didn't think would be tied to genetics is.
Yeah.
You know what happens to Ollie puppies? A lot of them drool whenever they get excited or hungry. They'll drool.
Yeah.
They also will sit with like one foot cocked and out in front of the other one like this. So like you have one foot normal and then you have this one. It's like his
Yeah.
classy pose. And that's like all of the Ollies. So here's people who use studs because, you know, we've met most of the studs that we've used. Some of them have stayed here at the house, like Bert and Ollie, of course, we know the most. But like Ripley stayed here a couple times. AJ's been down to visit. You know, Kale, you know, we've met up with him a few times. Some dogs we've never met, you know, but you wonder how much you really know the dogs, right? So if you're saying, I want this dog because I like that he has titles, I like that he has health testing done, but you don't know their personality and temperament, you know, like there's weird things like the fact that they're paw focused is genetic. Because, you know, they were here, but they weren't around their dad a lot. And even the ones who went home at 8 weeks old, you know, because dad, you know, he doesn't have anything to do with the training, you know, like Bert's in the other room. He's not in here saying, look, guys, you paw.
But Bert's in jail.
Oh, he's in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Look at that smushy face.
Tim's in jail and Pirate's out. So,
Okay.
oh.
You know what I started doing with Angus? So we were talking about goals, and I was like, I do other than the harness thing because I haven't got it yet. But so he's at the age he's starting to get plaque and tartar build up on his teeth, and I had all my dogs trained to be able to sit for or lay down for me to do manual scaling, hand tool scaling, and polishing. So I started that the other day, and he just laid there, just like. Didn't even care. Now he didn't want me to do the other side, and I think it was just because he was bored with it. Because I mean, it takes a while to hand scale.
Yeah, and you're a vet tech, so I'll get people who want to do that on their own dogs, and they don't have the experience to do it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing your dog's teeth.
That's why I don't recommend it. I mean, yes, I'm a vet tech. I'm registered in the state of Indiana as a registered vet tech, and I've gone through hours, hundreds of hours of not only the training, but actually doing dental cleanings. And if you don't do it right, if you don't polish after, like the number one question I get from people is, well, I clean my dog's teeth, but the tartar's coming back really quick. And I'm like, did you polish? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, so the same thing that your dentist does, we do that to dogs. I said, but here's the thing. If you don't polish, you just now created more surface area with those grooves and scratches in the teeth for bacteria to grow, and it's no longer just sliding off because you didn't essentially polish it down. So now that tartar's going to come back 10 times faster. Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they're just like, oh, is that why I'm having to clean them like every couple of months? And I'm like, you shouldn't have to clean your dog's teeth every couple of months. I'm like, and that means you're not doing it right, and you're going to essentially tear the enamel away if you keep doing that.
Yeah.
So it's really important that they are comfortable because it would take way too long to do hand polishing. You do have to have a tool, a high speed. It's essentially a Dremel with a rubber polisher on it, and you get special dog paste that's like not toxic because they're going to swallow it. So they have to be comfortable with that vibration in their mouth and the noise, and, you know, you jack it around in their mouth for 30, 45 minutes, and if they're not comfortable with it and the only thing you could get through is the scaling, you don't want to do it because, again, it's the same thing. So if you've ever put your own nails on, what do the instructions always say? Like whether you're doing glue or the little glue tabs, is you have to scuff up your nail. And it's because it creates more surface area for the glue to stick to and makes it more abrasive. Well, that's what happens with dogs' teeth is when you're getting all that off, you've just created more surface area for bacteria. Okay. But yeah, I started that with him the other day. Like I said, he let me do one side, and I haven't got to the other side yet, but I think he was just bored with it. He was just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But that saves me about 3 to 500 a year and prevents me from having to put him under anesthesia when I don't want, I don't like doing that all the time.
Yeah, with dentals is the anesthesia. I don't like the idea of putting the dog under just to clean their teeth. Rich loved greenies. He would buy greenies all the time for them. Like, look at I got them more greenies so they have clean teeth. And I'm like, I don't think that's doing what they think it's doing.
Right. I will say the Whimsies, which I've sent to you before, the little alligators, they've got alligators and hedgehogs and stuff, shaped ones. I like those better than greenies. I feel like they're a little bit more tough and they'll disintegrate with enough saliva on them so they're not necessarily a choking hazard.
Okay.
But they have more enzymes in them to help break down the bacteria on the teeth, but then they also tend to get they're more brittle, so as the dog is chewing on it, it's actually creating that scraping action, that rubbing action, instead of just like melting across the teeth.
Yeah.
So
I think he's ready for a nap. He's like, or I'm going to potty right here, and you can't do nothing about it. It's a perfect potty spot, Aunt Sarah. Watch.
So I have a Dalmatian, right?
Yes.
So he's pretty good. He's a little skittish. Well, last night, because I don't have a fence yet, I'm waiting on the snow to melt. And so all the dogs are off leash trained. Well, I stepped back into the garage for a second after Garrett and Davy, my non-Dalmatians, came in. And I go back outside thinking Trigger, the Dalmatian, is still peeing and I can't find him. So I have to hurry up and get slippers on. And I start looking for, well, he's deaf in one of his ears. And then he's partially deaf in the other. So when he runs off, it's impossible to find him. And I start whistling. Well, then I see him. And he's like 4 houses down. Well, he's sitting at their garage thinking he's at my house. And I'm like, Trigger. And he starts looking because he can't hear. And he's just... So I start whistling because he could hear that higher pitch. And he starts going to the side where my door to the garage would be, where he would go in of another person's house. And I'm like, God damn it, Trigger. And then finally he sees me and he's like, oh. I'm like,
Oh, God.
oh, these dogs.
They're so funny.
And then, of course, Angus is sitting at the front door looking outside the entire time, just like, what is that crackhead doing? Why, it's so cold. Why was he all the way down there? And he's just watching him like, judgy. Who's coming in next?
You're stupid. I don't know. Tara's grabbing. I'm hoping it's Oyster or Rabbit. You have to see Rabbit. She's so cute.
Oyster's a keeper, right? Or you're hoping is a keeper? Yeah.
The ball drop.
Every time Angus hears your bird, the squeaking.
Yeah. Who?
Orange girl.
Orange girl. Look how cute she is.
Look at the chunk.
Can I see?
Isn't she chunky?
Yes.
That face is just the cutest.
So cute.
Oh.
Angus, you're cute too. You jealous hoe.
So when they come in, first thing they go is in the potty area. So then they know where it is. And if they have to potty, hopefully they'll do it right to the toy, right to the other toy. She's like, I like it. Oh, Tara needs her clicker. So we can work on capturing behaviors. Oh, that was good with the scent. So that's the Nosy Nose scent pillow. It's the last one that I can find. So we need to order some more.
Look.
So she goes back in there, and then that is a water bowl, right? We like.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. Is that one of the ones that they have to push on it to get the water to come out?
Yeah. Because if not, a lot of times they would just like splash in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Oh, Goldens that want to play in water. Shocker.
Can you believe it?
I have one that doesn't want to play in water.
Sky?
She's a patio princess.
Sky doesn't like water?
Nope. Not one bit.
Wow.
He's a patio place. If you play
Alexa,
like with the hose with
Set a
her,
5-minute timer.
she'll play with that. But when it comes to like bodies of water, she's like, no, I don't like that. She went with like Otter and Charlie. We were all at the pool. It was a sniff spot, and she just laid on the patio like, no, I'm gonna lay on the couch and sunbathe. Thank you.
Mommy, when we get to Florida, are we going to visit Danny?
We're gonna try. I think for sure we're seeing Vicky. Maybe they'll meet us at the park one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could put them in the crock tote thing too, but we have like, yeah, we have to go through and see what all we need, but we'll do that once we know who's staying. Because we'll end up another crate in and.
Look at the babies. Tara, have you been saving teeth for the teeth wreath?
Angus, let's get to me.
Yeah, they grew in, but they won't lose them until what about 14 weeks?
Yeah.
14
Is it
weeks.
that late? I thought it was I thought they started at like 10 or 11. Dang.
We'll see. Because yeah, she does like to keep them.
Come on, big girl.
So she's beautiful. She's a big girl. This one right here, and she's so pretty.
Dang it, what was the name? Gloria. That's what her name needs to be. The hippo from Madagascar.
Gloria.
You know who I'm talking about?
That's DreamWorks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. The girls wanted to name a Wicked litter, and I'm like, Wicked is Universal, and they're like, no, it's not. It's Disney. I'm like, no, it's not to Google it to confirm.
It's
But
on Disney Plus though.
is it?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
But
watch
they have the Universal store. Remember, we saw it when we were
I
there.
know, but yeah, you can watch Wicked on Disney Plus.
Oh, good. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I watched it. So I will say I'm not a huge fan of musicals in general. And so it took me like a day and a half to watch it because I had to take breaks. It's not that it wasn't good. I thought it was great, but there was so much singing in it.
So we went to go see the musical here, and I know a lot of the soundtrack, but I know the soundtrack with Bernadette Peters. No, not Bernadette. Kristen Chenoweth. I know that one, right? Mm-hmm. And when Ariana Grande sang it, she sings it a little bit like her way, right? So it's like not a duplicate, which you know, like that's how you want it. But when you're trying to sing it, whenever it's on the radio and you're jamming along with it, and it's a little bit different, you're like, what the hell? So
yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, I think the one on Disney Plus, they gave you the option to watch it as a sing-along, too.
That would be awesome. I love that.
So
I'm just gonna get here and eat.
Oh, then I would pull the scent thing over there, and if she like goes by that and smells it, I would click and reward her.
look at her.
She's like, I got down, guys. You see, I'm very good with down. Very good.
Cool.
And I crawl. See my back legs?
Cool.
And often we'll put one of the whelping blankets in here to give them a little bit of traction. But we also want them to be able to walk on smooth surfaces too, because they have blankets in their pen.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll do both.
Well, that way it's not a surprise either the first time they get on a smooth floor, because I've seen that.
Yes, yeah, and that's
And there's
outside.
a
You have the concrete, but it's that brush. It's not slick like this floor is.
Yeah.
We got Anton for so much food because I put my nose on a nose ring.
All right.
Angus, look. You see it?
It's a baby you, Angus. Actually, we're waiting to hear his dad's Ripley, Magic's dad's Ripley, and Flounder's new litter might be from Ripley if she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah. When do you go do the confirmation on that?
Beginning of November. I want to say around the 10th, maybe.
Oh, okay.
We'll know more. And if so, it'll be the Finding Nemo litter. Because what else is a flounder going to have?
More fishes. Cause she loves fishes because they're so delicious. He ran away from you.
I'm trying to think, are there any Disney movies that are centered around cows?
Yes, Barnyard.
I don't know if that's Disney. I think that might be DreamWorks too.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it is DreamWorks. That's because that's the one with like the sheep and all that too, right?
Why are you standing in the puppy pen?
Yeah, get out of there and look for him. I don't know where he is, but I'm telling you, he ain't in here. I don't know. I want to know if there's more mermaids because Peter Pan has mermaids in it, and that's why Flounders from the Mermaid Litter, and we did that for her first one. Then we're going to do Finding Nemo. Alexa, timer off. We're going to do Finding Dory.
She said, excuse me, I need to-
And we need one more litter name with fishies and mermaids. Or mermaids. And Moana's already been taken. Nice. Okay, I'm going to sign off here so we can work this a little bit more. I feel
Okay.
I don't want to pass out while I'm on video. That would be fun.
I mean, that could be fun.
All right.
All right. Well, you guys have fun. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, Holly.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.